Formula One cars have become more complicated than ever, and they are in a constant state of flux. One recent driving force has been the move towards sustainable racing. As such, there is one aspect of Formula One that defending champion Lewis Hamilton is quite unable to understand, as quoted by MotorsportWeek. I'm your host Dillon Shelley, and first up on Formula World, F1 direction that Lewis Hamilton doesn't understand. Hamilton revealed what he doesn't understand. I don't understand why we're going heavier. I don't understand particularly why we go heavier when there's all this talk about more sustainable, just as the sport is going in that direction. He further explained why this isn't the right direction for the sport. By going heavier and heavier and heavier, you're using more and more energy. So that feels that's not necessarily in the right direction or in the thought process. He elaborated on how lighter cars are better. The lighter cars were more nimble, were nowhere near as big, naturally, and so racing, maneuvering the car was better. He further explained this using a couple of street circuits. On the tracks we're going to, they're getting wider. In Baku, it's quite wide in places, and of course it's narrow in other places. Monaco was always relatively impossible to pass, but now the cars are so big that it's too big for the track. He signed off by reiterating his views. As I said, as we get heavier and heavier, that's more energy we've got to dissipate, bigger brakes, more brake dust, and more fuel to get you to the locations. So, I don't fully understand it. Fast feed. Ferrari's Carlos Sainz has revealed that when he changed from Toro Rosso to Renault, he thought, okay, these two cars are completely different, but it's maybe a one-off. But then changing from Renault to McLaren, it was then completely different again. Then, from McLaren to Ferrari was completely different again. So it kept opening up his eyes a bit how different everything is from those four different teams, and how much you need to adapt. He guesses he has some practice with it now. Honda's F1 managing director Masashi Yamamoto could imagine Lewis going for 25 points because Max Verstappen couldn't go any further in Baku. He thinks that's exactly what Hamilton was trying to do. When Lewis went straight into the first corner, he felt Red Bull are having a real battle this year because Mercedes are pushing so hard. McLaren team principal Andreas Seidel feels that success in Formula One is not a one-man show, it's a big team effort. The key to the current success is the spirit within the team. They have a clear vision of how they want to get McLaren back to the top of Formula One, Seidel added. With CEO Zak Brown's support and the freedom Seidel has been given, he's been able to use his skills to shape the team so that it can operate successfully. Circuit of the Americas chairman Bobby Epstein has stated that if a second race at the circuit were good for the sport, they'd do all they could, and he thinks it would be good. Haas team principal Gunther Steiner feels that the incident between his two drivers on the last lap in Baku was not too dangerous, but just the emotion involved because of the high speed. He added that he has talked to both of them, because you have to avoid that kind of thing. If it goes wrong, it goes really wrong. They've got everything figured out. They both have to learn from it how to react, Steiner suggested. His driver Nikita Mazepin, meanwhile, thinks that he is a simple and well-mannered guy, so he's always had good relationships off the track with all the racers. But on the track, they are professionals. They work hard and let the spectators see the races they want. The public definitely doesn't want to watch boring races, Mazepin added. 15,000 fans will be allowed to attend the next race at the Paul Ricard circuit in France. Red Bull's Max Verstappen thinks that his heart is good. I think so, Max added. He also feels that his former teammates Carlos Sainz, Daniel Ricciardo, Pierre Gasly and Alexander Albon are very nice guys. And he added that they are all so driven. Like on track, of course, they always want to beat each other, but off track, they can actually have good times as well and have fun. Are F1 cars too heavy? Head over to my community page to vote in the poll and let me know what you think in the comments. And if you like this video, feel free to subscribe and check out my others for all the latest in the world of Formula One.